Hello everyone. So today with the series of protein metabolism, now we come to the trans deamination and ammonia transport. So we have already done with transamination and the other video about the deamination. So now comes the third video, that is on trans deamination and ammonia transport. So in the protein metabolism, now we are coming to the third topic. So now first, before this, we can now just go with the amino acid pool. So amino acid absorbed from the intestine and synthesis of non-essential amino acid and the amino acid liberated by the breakdown of protein. These all three steps, they together constitute amino acid pool and undergo metabolism in liver and extrahepatic tissue, and most amino acid are metabolized in liver and muscles. Now the blood amino acid, its level is 30 to 50 milligram per deciliter. And now the sources, which are the sources of blood amino acids? So dietary proteins, tissue breakdown, and synthesis of non-essential amino acid gives to the amino acid to the blood. Now utilization, it is utilized to synthesize protein, tissue protein, to synthesize plasma protein, to form ketone bodies, to form hemoglobin, to form enzyme protein, even to form neurotransmitters and protein hormones. It is also used in the synthesis of other nitrogen substances, then protein of milk, then formation of glucose by gluconeogenesis, and ammonia and urea formation. In this way, there are many procedures, process which utilize amino acid. Now, and catabolism of amino acid. So catabolism of amino acid takes place by this four processes, that is transamination, where transfer of amino group takes place, deamination, where the removal of amino group takes place in the form of ammonia, and transdeamination, which utilize transamination as well as deamination. Then the third is ammonia transport. So in this video we will talk about this transdeamination and ammonia transport. Then we will go with the fourth video, that is on the synthesis of urea. Now L-glutamic acid, what is transdeamination? That is, L-glutamic acid is not deaminated by L-amino acid oxidase, but it has a specific enzyme that is known as L-glutamate dehydrogenase. This enzyme is zinc containing metalloenzyme. It is present in mitochondrial matrix. It catalyzes reversible reaction. It is involved in catabolic and anabolic reaction. The hepatic glutamate dehydrogenase requires NAD and or NADP, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. These are the coenzymes for this enzyme. Then it is allosteric enzyme. It is specifically catalyze oxidative deamination, and that too only of L-glutamate. Then when the cell energy level is low, then GDP, that is glutamate dehydrogenase, is activated by ADP to provide alpha ketoglutarate, which serves as substrate for TCA cycle. Then when cell energy level is low, then it is activated by ATP to decrease the oxidative deamination of L-glutamate. In this way, L-glutamate deamination is decreased. When energy level is high, then amination of alpha ketoglutarate to form L-glutamate is favored, is increased, and therefore deamination of L-glutamate to alpha ketoglutarate is prevented. Then metabolic significance of this enzyme. This enzyme is very useful as it is present in mitochondria and as some of other enzymes of urea cycle. This compartmentalization of enzyme isolates ammonia, which is toxic. Then the free reversible reaction, it functions both in amino acid catabolism as well as synthesis. Catabolically, it channels nitrogen from glutamate to urea ultimately, and anabolically it catalyzes amination of alpha ketoglutarate to form glutamate. Now glutamate dehydrogenase is present in normal serum in trace, but increased activity are observed in case of liver disease, that is hepatocellular damage. So L-glutamate, its reaction you can see, L-glutamate is converted into alpha ketoglutarate. This is keto acid and this is amino acid in presence of NAD or NADP. Then it converts into keto acid and ammonia is liberated, which go for the synthesis of urea. And the enzyme, of course, you know that it is glutamate dehydrogenase. So the complete reaction you can see that NAD and NADP in presence of enzyme glutamate dehydrogenase converts glutamate to, first it converts into immunoglutaric acid, then immunoglutaric acid is converted into alpha ketoglutarate acid. This is known as trans deamination. This process is deamination, but here it is oxidative deamination, and here in presence of this glutamate, it comes from all the amino acid synthesizes, mostly all the amino acid synthesize this glutamate, and it is converted into alpha ketoglutarate acid. This complete procedure is known as trans deamination. Or we can now completely understand that alpha amino acid first in presence of transamination, transaminase is converted into keto acid. This keto acid and this amino acid, then it is converted into alpha ketoglutarate. This alpha ketoglutarate, and in presence this alpha amino acid and this alpha ketoglutarate, they combine to form in a process known as transamination, that is alpha keto acid and a glutamate. This glutamate then is trans deaminated. This is transamination. Now this glutamate in presence of glutamate dehydrogenase NAD and NADP, it forms ammonia, and it is converted into alpha ketoglutarate. This ammonia then goes to synthesize urea in presence of CO2, and in this way the process is known as trans deamination. So in the first stage you can see in presence of vitamin B6, that is PLP, pyridoxal phosphate, transaminase enzyme is active, which converts this amino acid into glutamate, keto acid, and alpha ketoglutarate into form a glutamate. This glutamate now comes and releases ammonia, and this is known as deamination. So this complete process is transamination and deamination together are known as trans deamination. Now ammonia transport. The ammonia is absorbed from the intestine into portal venous blood, which contain relatively high concentration of ammonia. This liver remove ammonia from portal blood and makes it ammonia free, essential as very small amount of ammonia is toxic to central nervous system. So ammonia collects all, liver collects all ammonia and converts it into urea. The three main fates are there for metabolic fate for ammonia in the body. The ammonia is first converted into urea, or it may form glutamine. So glutamate in presence of ammonia is converted into glutamine, and the amination of alpha keto acid to form alpha amino acid. In this way it can also form another amino acid, it can form glutamine, or it can form urea. So these are the three fates of ammonia. Then now transport of ammonia from peripheral tissue. So the ammonia is transported from peripheral tissue to the liver. So the first transport, most amino acid are degraded in liver, but other tissue also participate. For example is muscle. So muscle uses branch chain amino acid as a source of fuel when we are doing exercise or fasting. The amino group is removed in the form of ammonia. This ammonia is now transported from muscle to liver in two forms, that is glutamine and the other by alanine. So now transport of ammonia in the form of glutamine. So the glutamine, how it is converted? So in tissues like liver, kidney and brain, free ammonia is enzymatically combined with glutamate. So all ammonia liberated is combined with glutamate to form glutamine. This now glutamine, this reaction is in the presence of glutamine synthase. This glutamate now passes cannot this glutamate cannot pass through the cell membrane, that's why it is converted into glutamine. Now glutamine crosses the cell and is carried to the liver. Then there in presence of glutaminase enzyme, it converts glutamate to glutamate and ammonia, and in this way ammonia is transported to liver in the form of glutamine. So glutamine is the major transport and temporary storage form of ammonia in the body. Then now the transport of ammonia in form of alanine. So this you have already seen in the Corys cycle or glucose alanine cycle. In gluconeogenesis we have already seen. This is alanine. It plays an important role in transporting ammonia to the liver in non-toxic form. The cycle is known as glucose alanine cycle. In muscle, this amino group is collected in the form of glutamate. This glutamate is then converted to glutamine or can be converted to pyruvate by enzyme alanine aminotransferase to form alanine. Alanine then passes to liver via blood. In liver, by reverse reaction, this ALT transfers. ALT is alanine transaminase. This enzyme transfers this amino group from alanine to alpha ketoglutarate, forming pyruvate and glutamate. And this glutamate is then now converted into releases ammonia by glutamate dehydrogenase. In this way, ammonia is transported via alanine. So from muscles to liver, this alanine is formed in the muscle and it transports to the liver, and the cycle is known as glucose alanine cycle. Now the clinical significance: with severely impaired hepatic function or the development of collateral communication between portal and systemic vein, it may occur and causes cirrhosis of liver. It may also cause surgically produced shunting procedures known as egg fistula, or in other form portocaval shunts are conductive to ammonia intoxication, particular after ingestion of large quantities of proteins or after hemorrhagic into gastrointestinal tract. These shunts are produced. Normal blood ammonia level varies from 40 to 70 microgram. You can see it is microgram. So even a so small quantity is toxic to us. And free ammonium ions are less than 20 micron per 100 ml or deciliter. Then the clinically we can see hyperammonemia, that is the increase in the level of ammonia in blood. It is associated with comatose stage. Coma stage is there, and it may occur in hepatic failure, and it is of two types, that is acquired hyperammonemia and inherited hyperammonemia. Inherited, we all know that in urea cycle, the deficiency of enzymes of urea cycle, that is inherited, that is inborn error. Then acquired, it is usually in the result of cirrhosis of liver and development of collateral circulation which shunt the portal blood around the organ and thereby severely reducing the synthesis of urea. When the urea synthesis is reduced, then ammonia level is increased. Now the features of ammonia intoxication. What are the features? It is the particular flapping tremor. Tremors are there. Slurring of speech, the language is slurred, and blurring of vision, the vision becomes blur, and in severe cases follows to coma and death. This resembles those syndromes of hepatic coma where blood and brain ammonia levels are elevated. Now, why ammonia is toxic? Why this ammonia is toxic to us? Because it is the main cause is definitely not known, but it is associated with biochemical changes, that is increased ammonia concentration. The increase in ammonia concentration enhances the amination of alpha ketoglutarate, which forms glutamate in brain, and this glutamate reduces this alpha ketoglutarate is reduced now, which causes decrease in TCA cycle, and therefore it is directing the cellular respiration. So depressing the TCA cycle, and cellular respiration is affected. And increase ammonia concentration enhances glutamine. So as more and more glutamate is synthesized, this glutamate it combines with ammonia to form glutamine, and this glutamine formation from glutamate thus reduces brain cells pull to glutamic acid. So glutamic acid is reduced as it cannot enter, because glutamine is increased. Hence, there is decrease in formation of neurotransmitter GABA. GABA neurotransmitter is decreased, so nerve synapse and all are affected. And GABA, full form of GABA is gamma aminobutyric acid, which decreases. The rise in glutamine. The second is this rise in glutamine, which is which causes increase in outflow of glutamine, and with this glutamine tryptophan is the uh, transporter transporter. So tryptophan into the brain increases, and hence the concentration of tryptophan increases, which causes the abnormal increase in serotonin, which is also a neurotransmitter, and that's why this ammonia becomes toxic. Now thank you very much. So I hope you understood. If you have understood, or you may like my videos, and also subscribe so that you can get the notification, and you can watch my next video will be on urea cycle. Thank you very much.